Hello guys, it's me Riyadh. Welcome to another video. Here is the third version of my school magazine. If you're interested and do want to find out more, please continue watching this video. I got this idea while I was preparing a writing exam question. As we all know, teachers write the instruction in the exam, write an article for your school magazine. So I said to myself, I suppose that most students, if not all of them, always hear of the school magazine, but they've never seen it. Since then, I've decided to publish a school magazine every year. The rationale behind this magazine is a study that I came across which showed that we retain 10% of what we see, 20% of what we hear, 50% of what we see and hear, but when we see, hear, and do, we retain 90% of the information. So I wanted to provide the students with the opportunity to see, hear, and do to help them not only retain what they've learned in class, but also to contribute to the betterment of their levels of English. I have decided to publish a school magazine to boost their vocabulary, push them to work collaboratively, encourage them to write and improve their writing skills, develop the students' creative talents and passion for learning English, and apply some of the principles of the multiple intelligences theory stated by Gardner. This magazine is mainly devoted to fourth-year students. It covers the summaries of the 4 units designed in a very creative way. The good thing about this magazine is that all of these works and pieces of writings were written by the students. It was a good incentive for the students to develop their writing skills. Let's now go over the parts of this issue and see how productive the students were. Students writing. This magazine encompasses articles, speeches, biographies, graph analysis done in and outside the classroom. Dialogues and interviews are among the things that you will find in this issue. This conversation, for example, which came after a speaking test done in class, was written by 2 students. I asked a student to come to the board to answer his classmates' questions about his last holiday. After that, in order to enhance what they had learned, I asked 2 students to take their time and write a conversation about their summer holiday. As for this interview, it came after dealing with the lesson Space Tourism. I asked 2 other students to watch an interview about Richard Branson, one of the investors in the space tourism industry, and write a mock interview with him to be published in the school magazine, and here is the production of the students. You will also find articles written by students on Facebook. Because students are often asked to write a Facebook post in the exam, I find it quite useful to train them on that. One of the activities we dealt with was reacting to videos, topics, and quotes which I posted on Facebook about what we had studied in class. I chose very touching videos, topics, and quotes to encourage the students to react to them by writing an article on Facebook. As for this article, it was written in a very different way. It was a class production. After dealing with the topic brain training from different perspectives, I divided the class into 4 groups. Each group worked on a specific topic. The first group wrote about the push factors. The second group wrote about the pull factors. The third group wrote about the impacts. And the fourth group wrote about the solutions. Then I gathered all the students' ideas and explanations in one single article, since the purpose of this activity is to train the students to write a real newspaper article. You will also find ads about festivals, museums, and events. After dealing with the different parts and the kind of language we should use in this type of writing, I asked the students to work in groups and write a convincing advert to be published in their school magazine. Here are some of the productions. We have one about the Edinburgh International Festival, another one about the changing of the guard ceremony, another one about Madame Tussauds Museum, and one on the Festival of the Sahara. You will also find articles for further reading. The purpose of publishing these online articles is to provide the students with the opportunity to read authentic texts about the topics they studied in class. These texts will help the students gain more knowledge and enhance their reading abilities. You will also find mind maps. According to research, mind mapping improves learning, information recall, productivity, and creativity. The simplicity of the mind mapping technique allows students to capture ideas more quickly. So the students here work together on creating mind maps which summarize the main ideas of some lessons. Natural English is a section which deals with the students' reactions to the content of the lesson. These activities were the post-stages activities of the lessons studied in class. After discussing the lesson, I asked the students to express their preferences or opinions by providing arguments using a specific template. After that, I posed the same question on the Facebook study group to give them more time to think about the answer. This magazine contains some of the projects realized by the students during the school year, which have been collected again through our Facebook study group. This activity is also a mini project. It's about holiday-related phrasal verbs. The students were asked to come up with phrasal verbs and illustrate them with pictures to share them with their friends. The purpose of this exercise was for the students to produce sentences using these phrasal verbs in context with the help of the pictures provided. In this magazine, you will also find famous quotes. This part of this magazine was a part of a project. I asked the students to find a video about each of the topics we studied in class, summarize its content, and provide some quotes. When we dealt with the lesson on education for all, I chose the following quotes to illustrate some of the main ideas mentioned in the videos chosen by the students. In addition to all what we've seen so far, this magazine contains tips and tricks, strategies, and layouts on how to write an ad, an article, a speech, a postcard, a biography, a chart report, a presentation, a movie review, a letter of inquiry, and a letter of complaint. In this issue, the students will also find summaries of the major grammatical points illustrated with images to understand them better. And here are the pages of the magazine. As you can see, this magazine has generated countless benefits. To name a few, the students had the opportunity to write and act like a journalist. It has also promoted the students' learning. While working on this magazine, I have found the greatest joy and the biggest grins on the students' faces whenever they see their names published in an article, or when I design the concept of something to be published in the magazine. Finally, the students learned to appreciate the meaning of good cooperation for the success of the magazine and other activities. That's all for me, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and also to make sure to subscribe to our channel so that you can get notified whenever I upload a new video. Question of the day. Did you like this magazine? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm looking forward to reading your comments and feedback. And as Bill Gates says, we all need people who give us feedback. That's how we improve. That's all from me. Love and peace. Riyadh.